Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Frida. I will be demonstrating how to knit this stitch. It is called a cable stitch, but not the real cable stitch, the fake cable stitch. So this stitch is called the fake cable stitch. I know it sounds funny, but that's what I heard from Turkish knitters, that they call this stitch the fake cable stitch, or the wheat stitch. Either way, I think it more looks like a wheat stitch than a fake cable stitch. So I'm making a hat for this with this yarn that I have grabbed from my stash, and the yarn is, okay, let me see if you can see this, so blurry. Okay, it's 70% lamb wool, super soft. It is very soft actually. 20% angora, 10% nylon. It says it's worsted yarn, but I don't think it's worsted. It feels more like light finger. It's light blue. And here, so I am knitting this from my Etsy shop, and you can purchase it if you like it there. It's going to be the yarn fee plus my work, my labor fee. So I just wanted to demonstrate. I am for today I will be showing how to knit the stitch and plus the hat. So you got a bonus on this tutorial. So the yarn that I have used was 69 gram, 2.4 ounces of yarn, and so this one that I will be demonstrating, it's the same yarn, same 70% wool, 20% angora. It's angora. When I mean angora, it's angora rabbit yarn. It's not angora mohair, and 10% nylon, and it's 60 gram, 2.11. Oh, she wrote it wrong. See, I buy these online on Etsy, and yeah, this one is 2.11. It's less than that one. Well, anyways, this one is 60 gram and this one is 69 grams. So there's 9 gram different. So for this one, when I'm going to start this one, I'm going to knit the rib instead of, let me see how many inches I have knitted this one. I'll knit less. So instead of knitting 2.5 inches, I will knit 2 inches. Okay, the cast on method I will be showing over again. I do have a tutorial how to cast on. I will put the link below as well. But other than that, it's a very easy, simple stitch. It takes time to knit though, because as I'm going to show you how to knit it, it takes time. Okay, so let's get started on this tutorial. I'm just gonna grab it here. Okay, this is very soft yarn too. So I will be posting 2 hats on my Etsy shop, so you're welcome to go and check it out. If you're a knitter, you can knit yourself this hat. Okay, so just trying to this came like this. It was already caked. I asked it because I don't have time. I have my own tools to do it, but usually my husband does it. Okay, so this one I'm going to start in the middle because it's easier to pull it. Okay, so to start this, you need to cast on a total of 120 stitches around to fit your hat head, because it does stretch. It's very stretchy. Show it again. If you look at it, it is stretchy. I'll give you a closer look. Yeah, it's very nice when you stretch it. So, it's not a cable stitch, not at all. Okay, so I'll let you cast on 120, and I'm trying to give that elasticity cast on. So cast on 120 and I'll meet you back. Okay, so before I start, I just wanted to point out that the yarn is called worsted, and I am using, okay, the needle on the hat is 4mm. Okay, most of my things are, like, I can't read what the needle size is, it's erased. Okay, I'm just trying to find my tool here. And this needle is a size 2, so I'm going to use smaller needles to cast on because of the ribbing area. I want it tight instead of loose. So I just wanted to point that out. And just to be on the safe side, I just grab my tool here. Okay, so I have this tool here. And I don't know where I got it. It's a very old one. So, okay, so 2, see? This is a size 2. And I am using, so it's a worsted yarn. It's like this thick. I don't have a pattern for this. So, if you comment if you have a pattern, I don't. So that's why I'm doing the tutorial. And yeah. Okay, so I'm just casting on. Just cast on the regular way you cast on, and this is one of my methods that I cast on. So I'm just going to cast on 120, and I will come back and show you how to start that new bot, the edge, the stretchy edge. After casting, I went ahead and knitted. I'm sorry, I just couldn't wait because it was night and I didn't want to tape it at night to show you how to start it. But I will show you here. So after casting on 120 stitches, and I will put the link below how to cast on this method. It is very easy and simple, but time consuming. So just how it looks like after casting on. This is alternative cast on method. Okay, so what I did is after cast on, I started from here, and what I did is I did 4 stitches of purl stitch, yarn on the front, 1 stitch knit stitch, yarn on the back, 3 purl stitch, yarn on the front, 1 knit stitch, yarn on the back all the way to the end. And when I come to the last, I did 1 knit stitch, 3 purl stitch, and I did 4 knit stitch. These are going to be sewn. I'm not showing you in around how to knit this hat because for beginners it can be kind of difficult with the pattern. So when you sew this up, this will be inside just like this, and it will blend in. Okay, so when you turn your so this is the wrong side of the work, and this is the front of the work. Okay, and when you're at you did 4 stitches of knit stitch, and when you come to do the 4 stitches of purl stitch, and then 3 stitches of knit stitch, 1 stitch purl, 3 knit, 1 purl. This is how it goes. So it's like multiplied by 3 plus, multiplied by 4, because you need these 4 stitches, multiplied by 4. This is how you cast on. So I figured 120, and I measured with this needle size and with this yarn. When you check the gauge, it's perfect for 120 stitches. Okay, if you have a thinner yarn, like a lace yarn, I would add four more stitches, like multiply by 4 to continue. So I am going to continue the pattern, and the pattern is this, just like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to be knitting those purling those stitches from the front. So I'm going to change my needle. Like I said before, this is a size 2 needle, so I'm going to switch to a size 4 needle. And you can use circular. I'm knitting with circular, but if you have straight needles, you can use those too. It doesn't matter. It's just that I'm comfortable with the circular needles because I've been knitting so long. Yeah. Okay. So here are my 4 Addi needles. I'm going to switch to those. And stuck here. Huh. So many needles. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start the pattern, and this is the right side of the work. Okay, just to point that out. Okay, so here we go. I usually don't knit the edge. If you want to, you are welcome to knit it. So just knitting these, just like knit yarn on the front, purlwise. Okay, so we're here. So what we're going to do is we are going to count these, the middle knit stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to poke our needle like this, and we're going to grab the yarn just like this. This is how we create that opening. When you look at the pattern, can you see? This is what we're making. We're pulling it just like that, and we're going to do another one to create that fan look. Okay, so we just put that stitch there, and we're going to be knitting these 3, just a regular knit stitch, yarn from the back, just like this. Okay, but you need to pull that yarn loosely. We don't want it tight. So we're going to go back to that hole where we grabbed that yarn, and we're going to do the same thing here, just like this, just like knitting stitch. Grab it, just grab it just like this. Okay, have it loosely. Okay, and the next stitch is just a purl stitch, and we're just going to repeat. Just repeat. I noticed that this is tighter than this. Yeah, you have to be careful because we need it loosely. And so what we do is we do the same. We repeat. It's just a repeat. We go in the middle of these 1, 2, 3, the middle knit stitch, and we go 1, 2, 3, just like this, and we grab it. Grab it loosely, and then knit those 3 stitches. Okay, and then repeat. Grab it from here. Just like this. Knit the purl stitch. Or you say, oh, I am having a hard time to pull it out. Oh, I'm having difficulty. You just grab a crochet hook, and then you do the same thing. It's easier. because of the hook, it just pulls it easy. If you say that, you can do this too. 1, 2, 3, you go in the middle. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Just like this, and you just grab your stitch, and you use the crochet hook and put it back to that needle. Just like this. Okay. 1, 2, poke that crochet hook, just grab it just like that loosely, and you put it in the needle. You could do it this way. It's your own preferable, whichever you feel comfortable with. And you purl the next stitch. It's just a repeat. So I'll show it again. So 1, 2, 3. Pull it loosely and knit those 3 stitches, yarn on the back. Don't forget to do the second. I did that couple of times on this hat, and I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, you can't go back. It's impossible. I tried and I missed a couple of it's hard to find. Here it is. This one, this fellow here. See? I missed this one. And this is how it looks like. It's hard to notice between these. Yeah, there's another 2. See? One after another. I did a couple of here and I went back and fixed it. But here I forgot. I didn't see these 2, one after another. So you have to be careful not to forget to pull the second part of the stitch, or else you won't have this nice fan looking stitch. Okay, so purl. So this is all to it, this row. So continue knitting like this all the way to the end, and I will meet you at the end, and we will knit the wrong side of the work. So you just go 3 just like this, grab it, and then knit those 3 stitches just like this. Nice and sweet. Here we go. Oopsie. Yeah. Okay, so continue knitting like this and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm almost done. I am at the end of the row and I will show you the last. I lost my needle, just came off. Okay, here we go. And this is supposed to be on small needles, but the needle fell because it's almost at the end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the last stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, we go underneath and we pull the stitch just like this, and we knit these 3 stitches in the middle. 1, 2, 3, and then we come back and we do this other side. Don't forget to don't miss this one, and we just pull it tightly, loosely, and then we knit these last 2 stitches, just regular knit stitch. Okay, so this is the right side of the work, and this is how it looks like. So don't forget to do the 2 pulling. If you miss one, you miss it. You can't go back to fix it, or else you have to frog it all the way. So this is the back of the work. Okay, I forgot to mention you can knit as long as you want the rib. This one I just knitted about 2 inches long. So just to give you an idea, because you can fold this as well. You can use this 2 ways. You can fold it like this on top of the hat, just to give you an idea. So you can fold it and wear it like this too. Gives you that nice rib look. 2 ways you can wear it. Okay, so we're going to be knitting the wrong side of the work here, and then I am knitting with my turbo needles, and then I'm not gonna knit this stitch. I usually don't knit the beginning of the stitch, so purlwise yarn on the front. Okay, so when I come to those 3 stitches in the middle and the 2 that's flopping, we don't knit those, so we move that stitch to the needle. Remember the ones that we pulled, just like this, so we don't knit that. And then we knit these 3 stitches purlwise, yarn on the front, just like this. 1, 2, and 3. And then we do the same thing on this stitch too. We just move it just like this without knitting, and we knit, yarn on the back, we knit the stitch, and we just repeat it. We move this stitch, and then we purlwise, yarn on the front, we knit the 3 stitches in the middle. So we just repeat what we're doing, just to repeat, and move this, and knit this stitch, yarn on the back, and then move this stitch without knitting, and then knit the 3 stitches in the middle, yarn on the front, and then we just move this stitch just like this, and then we knit this stitch. So just to repeat, so continue knitting all the way to the end of your all the way to the rest of the stitches, and I will meet you at the end. And this is how we do it. 1, 2, 3, and then we move this stitch, and you knit what you see. Okay, so continue knitting. This is how it looks like from the back, and this is how it looks like from the front. So the stitch is becoming nicely. I am almost done this row. It takes time. Okay, it's like knitting a big huge sweater, but because I usually knit with big needles, so this is like so tiny for me. Okay, so we knit the stitch, and this last one, and the one we just move it to the other needle without knitting, and we will knit, yarn on the back, the last 4 stitches. So this is done the wrong side of the work. Now we're turning the right side of the work. So this is going to be the 3rd row on this stitch that we're knitting. So the 3rd row is what we're going to do something different. We're going to knit those stitches. Yeah! Okay. So for 2 rows, we just moved them without knitting to the right side of the needle. So what we're going to do is, now we have to be careful. We don't want to twist the stitch. See, when you look at, I don't want to knit it that way. See, if I knit it that way, the knit will be twisted. Just give you an idea. See, it's twisted. I don't want that look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix it, because moving it to the other needle, it maybe accidentally twisted it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to knit these 2 stitches together, just like to knit together, and now you can see. And we're going to knit the regular stitch in the middle, and we're going to knit these 2 stitches together. To do that without moving the stitch, I don't want to give it a twist, so I'm going to knit it this way. You just have to figure it out how you knit it. This is how I knit it, so we don't want to twist these 2 stitches. We want them to look perfectly. Okay, so we purl the next stitch, that yarn on the front, and then we repeat it. So we pull this stitch, and you can do it this way too, and knit these together. Put it back, just like that. Knit the one in the middle, and then knit these 2 stitches. So use your judgment not to twist that stitch to give that nice look. So purl the stitch in the middle, yarn on the front, and we just repeat what we did. This is what I've been doing. I don't want to twist it. So this is how I knit the middle, and knit these together. So I don't know how you knit, but you can use your judgment how to knit. And this is just a repeat. So we just repeat. We knit the one, yarn on the front, or you can, this is how I knit this one because I don't want to twist it. Knit the one, and knit these together. Purl this one, knit these together without twisting nicely. Knit the one in the middle and knit the 2 together. this is all to it. So go and knit all the way to the end, and I will meet you at the end. And this is how it looks like. Doesn't this look nice? Yeah. So just a repeat. Just a repeat. Again, I am at the last and almost at the end of the needles. So, can you hear that wind? It's terrible windy here in Edmonton. So we knit these two together, knit the one in the middle, and knit these two together. And this is the last one. And then we just knit the two remaining. Just a regular knit stitch yarn on the back. Okay, so we did row 3. Now we're going to do row 4 and we will be done with this stitch. And on row 5 we're going to start all over again. Okay, so this is just what this last row on the stitch is. You knit what you see. Just so when you see a purl stitch, you just knit on the yarn on the front, and to give that look, and then you knit the stitch, the yarn on the back, and you purl the ones that you see, and this is all to it. So this row is done. You knit what you see. Okay, so this is all to it. So just knit the stitches that you see, just like this. So continue knitting all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end and we'll start the new stitch. So we'll start the second stitch. And that's how you keep on knitting, total of 4 rows, and then you start another stitch on the next row. So I'll meet you at the end, and this is how it looks like from the front, and this is how it looks like from the back, and this is how it looks like from the front. I am almost done knitting the 4th row of the stitch. Okay, so we're going to start a new one, and like I said, it's just a repeat. Okay, so we're going to be knitting just what we did on row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, we're going to look at the middle of the stitch, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to go poke our needle and then just grab the yarn as we're knitting. Just a regular knit stitch, yarn on the back, and then we pull the stitch and we just knit these 3 stitches just regular as we did at the beginning, and then we go to the same, and then we grab our stitch loosely, and then we knit the stitch, yarn on the front, just like this, and then we just repeat. So this is how you knit the stitch. So I just wanted to share you how to knit it, and then you build up. It takes time because we're always going down to the 3rd row, and then you just knit this 3 stitches. If you're confused, you can rewind it and go back what we did, just to repeat. That's all to it. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to grab my other hat that I've been doing because I'm almost done with that. And then I use these bags. Just wanted to share. Put sheets in these, linen sheets. So I'm using them so I can see what I have in my whip. Working in process. Okay, so I knitted this is about 10 inches long. So I'm done. So I'm going to finish. I am going to finish, and I have a little bit yarn left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit. This is the top area that you're almost done. Either you can just use a needle and then put them all in all in the yarn, and then have them all, and then sew them tightly. Or I think this method is way better. So I did 3 rows. I started the stitch, I knitted the wrong side, and now I'm on the 3rd row. So I'm on the 3rd row. I'm going to be knitting a couple of them together to give the, so I'm gonna decrease stitches. Remember, we have 120 stitches on the needle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit. I'll just show you. So I did the 3rd row, so I'm on the 4th row of the stitch with how we do the stitch. So I'm going to knit these 3 together to get rid of the 2 stitches. So I'm going to knit these 3 together, so we'll have 1 stitch. Okay, so on the wrong side of the work, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this here, and then I'm going to knit this stitch, yarn on the front, just regular knit stitch, and I'm going to knit these 3 stitches together, those stitches that we created the stitch, the fake cable stitch, or the wheat stitch. This is how we do it, just to show you. So this is how it will look like from the front. Okay, so I'm just going to knit this stitch regular, yarn on the front, yarn on the back, and then knit these 3 together, just like this. Okay. This is the back of the work again. Knit that stitch, and then knit these 3 together. So you just continue knitting like this to decrease the stitches. We're almost done the hat. You can knit as long as you want. Like a normal hat is a 10-inch long hat. So if you want it longer, you're welcome to knit it longer, but I'm just knitting 10 inches and I don't have enough yarn, so I'm just working with my yarn. Okay, knit these 3 together. Knit that following stitch and knit these 3 together. So I'll let you knit all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you at the end, and we're almost done on this hat. Yeah, doesn't this look nice? I think it looks very nice. So I am almost done knitting this end of this row. So I knitted the 3 stitches together, and I'm going to knit these, there's 3 stitches, so what I'll do is I'll just knit these together, just like this. So we're kind of went twisted, but that's okay. So we knit the last stitch, and you will see that you have less stitches on your needle. Okay, so with my experience knitting hats for so many years, I try to give that look on the hat here, just to show you. So this is the hat, and if you have more yarn, you can knit a couple of more rows, but I don't have enough yarn. I just have about this much yarn, so I don't have enough yarn. So I'm trying to work with my yarn that I have in my hand. So what I'll do is I'm going to knit another row, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit these 3 together these 3 stitches in the middle, just like that. So I'll knit these. These are knit stitches, yarn on the front, just like this, and I will knit this stitch. And what I'll do is I will knit these 3 together. To do that, I will just go just as to, either you can go it like this, just like this, knit 3 together, or, and I will knit this stitch and knit these 3 together, or you can go like this, slip, knit these 2 stitches together, and then slip this stitch. Either you can do it this way. See? Just to give you different ideas. And if you want to do your way, you're welcome to do your way. So knit these 3 together. The purpose we're doing it because we're decreasing our stitches on our needle. So continue knitting like this. Try knit 3 together, just like this. And I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row and I have these stitches left. So I knit these together and I have the stitches left. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to knit them because it's going to be too much going on there. So, okay, so what I'll do is, I have this much left stitches. Yeah. And I think this would be enough. If you are welcome to knit. Yeah, you are welcome to knit more if you want. But at this point, I'm going to end this. So I'm just going to grab one of my needles here that I have in my tool holder, needle tool holder. And I'm just going to grab one. Okay, and what I'm going to do is going to get I think I can knit another row maybe. Yeah. I still have few yarn left here. So what I'll do is I'll knit one more row and I will just knit these stitches. I'm not gonna decrease anymore. So what I'll do is I will just knit these stitches on the needle that I have. So I will knit what I see on the needle. Okay, so I'm going to knit these stitches that I see. What I see, what I will knit. So, and I will meet at the end of this row and we will start sewing up the hat. I have knitted the row and I am here and I put my needle on the yarn. So what I'll do is I'm just going to move these gently to this needle and I'm going to pull all of them together. And you can make, you can sew a fur pom-pom on it. If you want to make your own pom-pom, you are welcome to do that. So just pull it nicely, just like this, all the way to the end. And secure the yarn. Just like this. My dog is panicking. Hello. It's very windy. Here's my My pet. Toop toop. Sorry about that. It's terrible windy outside and she's panicking. Yeah. She hates wind. She hates thunder. She makes me laugh. Okay. Here we are. So we're done. Yay! So we're going to pull all the way. All the way, all the way, all the way. Just like this. And when you pull it, this is how it becomes. Just like this. I know knitters hate sewing, but fortunately, like I said, you can do this in a round. To do it at a round, you just go around and around, do the same stitch, same method that I showed you. But if you are a new knitter, I just wanted to show you how. You don't have to make a hat with this stitch. You can make anything you want. It doesn't have to be a hat at all. Just to show you this how to make the stitch, and while I'm making this, showing you the stitch, I just wanted to share you. Okay, so I don't want that hole. I am going to sew that hole. See, this is how it looks like. Doesn't this look nice? And like I said, if you have more yarn, you are welcome to knit this bigger and bigger, and then it will become wider, this area. But I think this is a regular hat, so I'm sure it would be perfect. So what I'm just going to do is, oops, just going to go between these stitches, and I'm just going to go across to get rid of that hole in the middle. See? So if you go across like this, it's very simple. Just go between the stitches and just go between the stitches just like this, and cover that hole. Yeah, just like this. And this is how you do it. Okay. So I'm doing the mattress sewing technique. So I'm just going between these two stitches from across, just like this. And I'm grabbing two stitches from here. Oops. Just like this. And this is how you sew it up. So I will let you sew up, and I'll meet you at the end. This is going to take a while to sew it up. It's fun. The end results are always fun. So I'll meet you at the end. So continue sewing it up. Okay, so I sewed it up, and this is how it looks like, and I'm measuring it. So without stretch or anything, this is how it looks like. It's almost 10 inches long. Well, 20 when you measure the two side. You can fold this just like this and wear it like it, or you can wear it like this. And the height that I have knitted up to is about 10 inches. Yeah, perfect. This is perfect for a adult size, even for kids, teenagers head. So let's put it on our mannequin here that I have here. Okay, just grab my mannequin. It's right here. And this is adult size head. And just give it a bitter. Okay, so this is how it looks like on the head mannequin that I have here. Head, I don't know what you call it. Call it a head. So doesn't this look nice? Okay, so I'm just gonna try to move this a little bit up. Well, this is how it looks like. Doesn't it look nice? Okay, and you can fold it like this. If you don't want it too long, you can go ahead and do that. You're welcome to do that. And this is how it looks like. This, isn't it lovely? So I just wanted to share you this tutorial, and I will put a bonus video here after this, how to cast on. And enjoy it. Yeah, I hope you liked this tutorial. Please share it with your family and friends, and happy knitting!